Hi, my name's John Wright. Actually, this is the fourth um, little tape I'm doing, about 10-minute sections. Oh, by the way, my dad was D.B. Cooper, and by the way, they have a bowling alley in Morton, Washington now that has a saw on it they call Millhouse Smokehouse, and they're selling pulled pork in it. This is one of their photos, pulled pork in their bowling alley, and there's the inside of my dad's bowling alley right there, and it is the Zodiac's Dungeon, is that what it is, and it's in Morton, Washington. So anyway, and right next to the Morton bowling alley is the Browns mortuary. The Morton bowling alley was called Alpine Bowl, and it was painted brown, and it was named after a bowl of ice cream. And my dad told me the reason it was named after a bowl of ice cream is because he screamed when he flew out the back of a 727 jet when he hijacked it. He made it very clear to me what he had done, but he did it in such a tricky way that he had to do it to where it wouldn't kill me when I found out. Or at least he would have got to expire his life and got away with murdering a bunch of people, the Zodiac, and he was pressured by my family, my brother Jerry and his mother, and my sister Bonnie has forced to comply because this child was taken away from her and passed off as my sister. Now, saying that alone, there's a lot more of the story, but just this morning, I have delivered the governor this prior to 2 weeks prior to the explosion in Lebanon, because once they got a hold of this, they found out there was trouble in Morton, and then they pulled that stunt off in Lebanon because they do not want to give up what they've stolen here in Washington State. And what they've done is they've stole bowling in Washington State, and they stole credit unions in Washington State. They created the Twin Star Credit Union in Washington State, and there's 21 of them that's actually been built, but they closed the 21st one in Morton, Washington, that's across the street from the Fair Hearts Museum, as a, hey man, right there's the path, and you can see them all on the internet from the river to the sea. They've marked it. Matter of fact, they've marked it, and there's a supply chain of Walmarts coming this way too. I mean, Jesus, it looks like they just created this place for them to come in and have supplies, a supply line all set up for them. But I know for a fact that D.B. Cooper's money started up the Twin County Credit Union that my attorney was actually affiliated with through the Wheeler's Law Office in Centralia, Washington. My friend was murdered on my bed, and they changed the name of the bowling alley to Victory Lanes. Victim Terry Lance Shortridge. They painted it. They made this whole thing. I'm telling you, I went out and visited these people. I asked them how they got this bowling alley. They said they got it with no money, not a dime. They just kept reapplying the loan. They finally just gave it to them. They found this abandoned bowling alley. I had $50,000, and I would put up $50,000. I couldn't get them to take it. They wouldn't take no money from me. Why? Is because the bowling alley was dirty. It's always been dirty, and that's where the money came from. But by the way, now the Alpine Bowl is right next to the mortuary, Brown's mortuary, and now here we got this property right next to my motorhome right here that's Brown's, owned by Brown's. And matter of fact, I have problems with the neighbors and stuff acting out since I have done this. I have the cops across the street at the fire hall using it as a jump zone. I think they're selling drugs across the street out of that place over there. The cops are involved there. Guy next door made up so much goddamn noise, I had to give him a thing on the Washington State DOT laws, and I have it here printed out. I have a couple copies here printed. If somebody comes by, I'll just give them one. And I stuck it in everyone's mailbox out there, but except Ernie's right here. Ernie and Bonnie wasn't home. I knew it wasn't them because I live on Ernie and Bonnie's property, my sister and my brother-in-law. And the guy across the street, he makes a big explosion, and then explosion over there. So it's two simultaneously. So this guy's on the phone, blew it now, So they're doing a terrorist attack right here. As a matter of fact, after, this guy sunk in and goddamn, we just blew that off. We don't know what this goddamn guy will do right here. Well, this guy right here will goddamn tell the governors of what's happening. So what will goddamn happen? Because just this morning, this guy next door, they sent the owner of this property over here, and he's right behind my motorhome, putting out pink ribbon out here behind my place, right here. And he was sent here to harass me, and I told that guy who my dad was, where that bowling alley is, about the museum in Morton, Washington that's the Fairhearts. And I pretty much told them, are we going to have a problem here? The guy was sent over here to harass, and I wonder, hey man, this guy's named Brown. That's Brown's mortuary right here. Is this an inside job? Is my sister's being forced? I have a man right here. And this morning I went out there, and here I am. I'm looking at the ribbon. Where is this guy? He's hiding in the bushes over there. He's hiding in the goddamn bushes 30 and 40 feet away from me like it's an ambush. Does that guy have a gun in his pocket? Do I need to call the cops? If I call the cops, what are they going to do? One of us is going to go to jail. Which one is it going to be? The guy that's over, or the guy that's out there with the ribbon hanging it up? Or I walked out there, there's ribbon. What's going on? I'm standing there. I'm fucking standing there just watching. Pretty soon I see a movement in the brush. Hey man, can you tell me what's going on here? Oh yeah, I'm the my mom, and all of a sudden, and I could tell you, and he started telling me stuff, and I said, well, I want to tell you about a bucket of shit. I said, matter of fact, in my motorhome over here, it was wintertime, there's snow all over the place. I had to fucking tip off a couple buckets of shit off 5-gallon buckets. I put a 5-gallon bucket right here. And I said, my nephew came out, and he went over there, and he grabbed it, thought it was Spody alcohol, whatever. There's a still out there. He put it out to the road, and it disappeared, he said. And I got to laugh, and I told him, I said, you're stealing my shit. And I thought it was really goddamn funny. And, I was telling him, that guy, I thought, you should have been here. It was really goddamn funny. And the guy was like, he didn't know what the goddamn think of me. And I said, I just want you to know my dad was a Zodiac killer. My dad was D.B. Cooper. I said that bowling alley in Morton, Washington, next to the Brown Cemetery and stuff, that was my dad's. And I said, what's your name? He's Brown. And I said, you know what? I said, what you need to do is, I said, you want to walk your property line here. You need to talk to the owner of the property. And he lives right over there in that house. He drives that blue Ford pickup. What I've got here is I've got stalkers. What I've got here is I've got goddamn crime. And you know what? I'm the one that fucking tipped off Washington State that there was stuff that was going down in Morton, Washington. And you know what? They stopped the Morton Loggers Jubilee. And you know what else they did? I warned them that they were going to have a lemonade stand down there, and they were going to have a James Jones massacre. Why? So there could be a goddamn great big discursion here in the United States, and then be attacked from others from outside of the United States. And they were going to do a forced entry into the United States, and they're going to make it into Morton, Washington, down in that canyon. They got 2 radio towers down there, those Fairhearts. As a matter of fact, the radio tower is in the picture in the background. You could see it from the museum right there that they have online. So I just want you to tell you, they're using signals, they're using pictures and stuff, and they've got Fairhearts sitting on benches and stuff in Morton, Washington, posed on benches, reading newspapers with bombings and stuff in there. And hell, these people, they're getting newspapers and stuff from around the world. They could tune in, they could go like this, they could see what's happening. They could see that this is the Millhouse Smokehouse. And it looks pretty damn dark in there now, doesn't it? I built that bowling alley. I put those beams in myself with my dad, with 2 other people. The guy that came there, he was running a crane that day. That bowling alley was built by me. I could tell you about the time that, I broke my arm when I fell off the roof right over here. And that's where the roof changes. You could actually see it where it changed because the boy fell off and he hit the ground right there, and that was me. And it was this guy right here. But this guy right here, his friend was murdered on his bed. But these guys will say, no, this isn't true, and he's a retard. But this goddamn retard stand right in front of you and say, look what these people have done. And I have a person that's behind my house here. And you know, when he was out here putting up those ribbons and stuff, and I told him about that bucket of shit and stuff, I came out here and I walked back through and I walked behind my motorhome, and here's my nephew taking his ribbons down. I walked back over there and the guy's sitting down there going, Jesus Christ, I can't see my line. He's looking up that way, and I said, I want you to know. I said, my nephew went over there and he took that line down. I said, he's kind of good size. I said, if you run into him over there, you ain't going to be happy. I said, what you want to do is you want to go over there and you want to talk to the owner of this your property and have him walk the line with you, and you should not be over here. What do you do on a Saturday, by the way? What do you do on a Saturday? I said, you should be home watching football. I said, what is here? There's no timber here. There's no value in this wood right here. What you have is a cleanup job. What you have is that you guys never took care of your business. You never took care of your farmers. I said, why don't you just sell the property to me and my brother-in-law? I said, you ain't going to get no money out of it. What you're going to do is you're just going to cause a commotion. And I think you're here to hassle, pretty much, is what I told them. Click, bye. I got to get it over with or it won't go. This is number 4.